Okay, good evening everyone. So we'll start our Dhamma talk by reciting the Namo Tassa 3 times. Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa. Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa. Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa. Okay, good evening everyone. Our topic today is contentment. When I was 40 or 50 years old, I used to read a lot of biography of the famous monks. So in that way, inspired by their biographies, and I'm happy to become like them. I want to become like them. So by that time, I take one of my photos. By looking at my photo, I became disappointed and depressed. The reason is I think that by that time, I am very ugly. So by thinking in that way, and I also think that if I stay as a monk in Buddhism, in the sasana, it will disgrace sasana. So I think such a ugly people like me shouldn't be a monk. So that is my thinking. Then I told my teacher, I want to stop. I want to lead a monastic life. Then my teacher asked me why. Because I am ugly. Then my teacher told me that, is it your reason to stop? Then I say, yes, it is serious by that time. So the reason is, I think that if I stay as a Buddhist monk, I think it will be a disgrace for sasana. So people think that an ugly monk like me, a member of sasana. So I think that is a very serious thought in mind. So when I was 40 and 50 years old, then my teacher told me, you are not the only one in sasana. So there are many monks who are uglier than you. By hearing such encouraging word, I continue to be a Buddhist monk up to now. So I realized that there are many monks in sasana who are uglier than me. So that's the reason. So by that time, I don't have contentment with my appearance. For that reason, I feel depressed, I feel dissatisfied with my appearance. So if you ask me right now, I don't have such one. I'm satisfied with my appearance. So not because I became more handsome, but because my understanding is getting higher and higher, right? Because of my understanding, not because of my appearance. Actually, my appearance is the same, more or less the same. But my understanding regarding with the appearance, not the same. So I have contentment regarding with my appearance right now. I think that is very important. Because of that, I don't have any depression. I don't have any dissatisfaction regarding with my appearance, right? So to be happy, to have happiness, contentment is a very crucial part in our life. Actually, everything is the same regarding with the appearance, regarding with your possession, regarding with your wealth, anything, right? If you do not have contentment, you will not be happy. So for that reason, I think that today our topic is contentment, but we can say that this is a how to be happy, right? How to get happiness in our life. If you are contented person, regarding with your possession, regarding with your property, regarding with your status in your environment, regarding with your salary, regarding with your appearance, everything, right? If you have contentment, you are happy. You are very happy. So today we'll talk about how to be happy. Actually, this title was given to me by teacher Lily. So actually, this is a very popular, a very common topic. Many people have been talking about this topic. If you find out in Google, you will see so many, right? So I think that, but today I will talk about based on Buddhist understanding regarding with the contentment. So I think another, we can even say that how to be happy, how to find happiness in our life. So that means if you have contentment, then you will be happy. I think that is very important. But we should know to have a better understanding what is contentment. So today, my job is to define what is contentment according to Buddhist perspective. Then if you understand, so what is contentment in Buddhism, then you can apply in your daily life. So I hope that, like me, you will become happier person, right? Happier person. Regarding with your appearance or regarding with your possession, anything, right? Anything. So here we have a two tagline. So this one is not written by me, it's written by Mr. Chen. It's very beautiful, and so when I give topic of my Dhamma talk, contentment, and he write this one. He give it to me, very beautiful. He gave me very beautiful questions, two questions. Number one, why are you so happy even though you have less than others? Some people are happy even though they have less than others. So we have to find out the reason why. I think very good question. So we already have the answer. So the answer is contentment. I think I have given the answer, but he has a question for me. Another one, why are you so unhappy even though you have more than others? You are more beautiful, more handsome than others. You are richer than others. You are higher than. Regard to status, possession, you are more famous. Why you are not happy? The reason is you don't have contentment. And then the answer is already given. So today, actually, I highlight what is contentment according to Buddhism. If you know the definition of contentment, and then you can apply, right? You can apply it in your daily life. So when I was young, 15, even up to 23 years old, so I'm not satisfied with my appearance, with my look. I always think that I'm ugly. But right now, I don't have such a feeling, but I really fully accept it. I fully accept it. And of course, I do not, I want to have a more handsome appearance, more attractive appearance. So if I have a good looking and attractive and appealing to other people, I can do more. But right now, I'm contented with my appearance. So no way, that's my karma, right? That's my karma. So I have to contented. I have to satisfy with my appearance. So then, for me, regarding with the appearance, so I don't have any depression. I'm fully accepted. For that reason, I'm happy with this. So that is a contentment, right? So I think it's very important. Here, let's look at what is contentment. Normally, we think that contentment is largely depend on what you have. So that is not wrong, but it's not 100% correct. Of course, contentment is largely depend on what you have. If people have more than others, they are happy, they're satisfied, right? So the reason is, what we have to see is how long that satisfying lasts, right? So here, people normally think that contentment is largely connected with what you belong to and what you have. But it is your attitude. It is your attitude toward your belongings. That is very important. Attitude change. Your attitude change your status or your happiness, right? That is very important. So here, contentment is not what you have. It is attitude toward what you have. That is purely mental one. So as we have see the two questions, so some people are happy, right? Even though they have less than others, because of contentment. Some are not happy, even though they have more than others. The reason is they don't have contentment. So for that reason, it is not about not connected with what you. Of course, it is largely connected with what you have, but it is just mental attitude toward your belongings. Whether you have a little amount of money or large amount of money. So it depends on your attitude. I think that is very important. If you are happy and satisfied with what you have, it is called contentment. So that is my definitions based on Buddhist teachings. So when you are satisfied with your appearance, with your belongings, with your status, with your fame or praise, anything, negative or positive possessions, what you have, it is depends on what you see, your attitude. So if you are satisfied with this, you are you have a contentment. Some people have cancer. Even they are satisfied with the cancer, we can call them, they are contented people. Even the negative things, right? Some people may have a lot of problem, but even though they don't have a lot of problem, and they accept it, and they are satisfied with this. So in that way, we can call them, they are a contented people. So here, whether negative or positive ones, so if you are satisfied with this, if you accept it, we can call it, you are a contented person. You have a contentment. You fail in your business. You fail in your exam. Then you fully accept it. Then we can call you are contented person. If you accept it, there's no depression, no suffering in your mind, right? So actually, suffering, depression, and negative part of our emotion depend on our attitude. Some people, even though they fail in their exam, and not a problem, they are all the time happy, jolly person, right? Happy, jolly person. But some people, after failing in their exam, they commit suicide. It depends on attitude, right? Attitude. But here, so I'm not saying that contentment is nothing to do with your belongings. Of course, it is largely connected with our belongings. Normally, when we have a lot, so we have a satisfaction. That is largely connected with. But I think the most important part of contentment is our attitude toward what we belong to. But here, anytime if you have a question, just raise your hand, right? So I will allow you to ask even during my talk. So in this way, we can clarify more. Okay, so that is a basic definition of contentment. But here is another one from Dhamma. So this is a very famous teachings of the Buddha regarding with the contentment. Dhamma, verse number 204. 204. And the Buddha said that health is the higher gain. I think Singaporeans fully agree on that, right? So health is more important than everything. Then number 2, contentment is the greatest wealth. I don't know whether you believe or not. And then that is what the Buddha saw, what the Buddha said regarding with contentment. So even though you are very, very wealthy, even though you are very rich, if you do not have contentment, you are still poor. We can say that. Of course, some will say the attitude of people. So when they get more money, they want more. When they get, the amount that they want more. They want more, right? So they are still poor. We can say that. So according to the Buddha, the greatest wealth is contentment. So the moment you have contentment, you are a wealthy person. You are a rich person. You don't need any more. So actually, we need to clarify this fact. So I think along the way, I think you will understand what the Buddha want to say, right? Then I will quote other teachings of the Buddha. What do you mean by that, right? So contentment is the greatest wealth. Santoti Paramantanan. The trusted people are the best kinsmen, right? So if your friend is trusted person, the best kinsman, your relative, right? Sometimes the relatives are not trusted people. So if you have the trusted people outside, so they are your kinsmen. Nibbana is the highest place. Of course, I think as a Buddhist, so the Nibbana, if you attain Nibbana, you don't need anything. If you attain Nibbana, you don't need anything. So that means whoever you are, wherever you have, wherever you are. So to wherever you with, you'll be happy all the time if you attain Nibbana. So for that reason, the Nibbana is the highest place. So here, what I want to highlight is the second one, the contentment is the greatest wealth. So here, we need to know what is contentment, right? What is contentment? Then this is, I think, one of the best definition of contentment according to Buddhism. So this is not taught by the Buddha, but taught by commentators. Taught by the commentators, looking at what the Buddha said. in the Pali Canon. So what is contentment? Number one should not regret the past. Very important one. So this is the 3 criteria of contentment according to Theravada commentary. So this teaching was, the commentary said that, number one should not regret the past. Normally, we have our past, right? Some are good, some are not good, some are positive, some are negative. So regarding with the past, do not regret. That means if you regret, you don't have a contentment. That is very important. Regarding with your job, you might have regret and remorse. If I have studied at the university, then I will have a higher post and higher possession. Then if I finish master degree, doctorate degree, I will have more money, right? More salary, like this. Sometimes if you are thinking about your past, you might have regret and remorse. So that is a sign of discontentment, right? You don't have a contentment. So here, the first criteria of contentment is do not regret the past. Whether you are good or bad, accept it, fully accept it. As I earlier said that, so I'm destined to be, not good-looking person. I will not say ugly, not good-looking person. But anyway, I fully accept it. So in this way, then I have a contentment regarding with my past. So I had no regrets, no remorse at all. So that is one of the characteristics of contentment. Number 2, one should not long for the future. If you look at only this particular line, so you will misinterpret teachings of the Buddha. You might think that we don't need to long for the past, the future. No need to think about the future. You might think that, right? It's not so. You can think about the future, and you can think about your past, but no regret, no worry, no negative mental state when you are thinking about your past, your future. So by thinking about our past experiences, we can get lessons, right? We can get our lessons, whether they are good or bad, so we can learn from the past. So when you are thinking about your past, so no negative mental state. Then we can think about our future as well. So when you are thinking about your future, no worry, no depression, no anxiety at all. But when you are thinking about your future, fully aware and fully mindful, 2 criteria, right? You can think about your past as well as the future. So if you are very mindful when you are thinking about future and past, so when you are fully aware of it, there is no negative mental state, no regret, no worry, no anxiety at all. So you can think on both past and future. But here, so should not regret, right, when you are thinking about your past. And secondly, should not long for the future. Normally, as a young people, we long for the future. What will happen in the future? Trying hard, right? Trying hard. So when they cannot do, anxiety, worry, fear came in. Then when they can do, pride and conceit came in their mind, right? So I think that, so when we are thinking about our future, fully mindful and fully aware of it. So no negative mental state, just like anxiety, depression, worry, etc., right? So in that way, you can think about your future. But here, we should not long for the future. Second criteria. And the last one, one should be satisfied with the present. I think that is the most important one. One should be satisfied with the present. If you are 50 years old, satisfied with your age, right? If you are still young, satisfied with your age. If you are 60, 70, don't regret what you have done in the past. Do not have any anxiety or worry for the future. Stay in the present moment. Satisfied with your age. Satisfied where you are now. Satisfied with your house that you are staying now. And satisfied with your job, with your working now. So I think it is important to enjoy present moment, to satisfy with the present moment. So if you have these three qualities, these criteria, then you can call it you are a contented person. The commentary said that such one is called a contented person. So I think if we look at this definition of contented person, I think you will understand Buddhist definition of contentment. So I think we need to understand contentment by discussing other factors. So later we will do it. So one of the devas asked the Buddha, the monks who are living in the forest, they seem to be very happy, and their appearance is serene and calm. Even though they don't have anything. So what they have is one bowl and small hut. Not the house, right? Not the monasteries, not big one, not like this. So what they have is a bowl and one set of ropes and one hut. But they seem to be very happy, and their appearance is serene and calm. And one of the devas surprisingly asked, so the Buddha said that they do not regret the past. They do not regret the past. They do not long for the future. And they just live in the present moment. For that reason, their appearance is serene and calm. So if you look at this, I think the commentary defines the meaning of contentment, and then by looking at that teachings, particular teachings, even though the commentary didn't mention, I think that. So here, if we look at the teachings of the Buddha, the monks, even though they live in the forest, even though they don't have anything other than the bowl to go for Pinapada, now one set of rope and one small hut, they are happy. But most of them, they stay under the tree. Even they don't have a place to dwell in. But they seem to be very happy. I think if you look at some of the monks in Thailand, so they maintain forest tradition. So the monks are living in the forest. In Thailand, stay very popular. But they seem to be very happy, right? Even though they don't have anything. The reason is they have contentment. The reason is they have contentment. But here, three criteria. Number one, should not regret the past. Whether you're negative or positive, try not to be regret. Whether you have done good things or whether you have done unwholesome things, bad things, don't regret. Don't go back the past in such a way. Then you can go back to the past by thinking with the mindfulness and clarity of mind. You can think, but don't go back to the past with a lot of regret and remorse. So if you have a regret and remorse regarding with your past, you don't have this one, contentment, right? That's very important. Then one should not long for the future. Normally, people want to go to the future, right? So when I became an adept, I will have a more freedom. When I became a graduated person, I will get a job. When I have a good job, then I have more salary. Like this, we are longing for the past, but we forgot the present moment. I think that is very important, the present moment. So one of the famous writer in the 20th century in Myanmar, one of the very famous writer. So one of the journalists asked the question. So now you are very famous in Myanmar. So when was your happiest moment in your life? And the writer called bemoaning, and he answered, when I was trying to become a famous person, my highest happy moment is when I was trying to become a famous person. And then look at this answer, it's very significant. I believe that I don't know whether he is staying in the present moment or not. But here, if we listen his answer, we can know that he is not living in the present moment. Now he is one of the most famous writer in Myanmar, but it is not his happiest moment, right? But he said that the moment he is trying to become a famous writer, he go back to the past. So that past moment already gone. He is not living in the present moment. By looking at his interview, then we can decide that he is not a contented person. So that means, even though he became a very famous writer in Myanmar, not contented. The reason is not staying in the present moment. So the present moment should be the happiest moment in our life. Even though you have a fatal disease right now, it should be the happiest moment in your life. Even though you're going to die tomorrow, this time should be the happiest moment in your life. We should try to stay in the present moment. Then only you will become a contented person. So if you have contentment, you'll be happy. That is very important, right? That is a definition of contentment. Very meaningful and comprehensive, right? It covers everything. So that is contentment. Then I also want to share, so one of the, another definition about contentment. So Umya Chai is my English teacher. He is well respected. And now he is one of the famous English teacher in Myanmar. And I study my English under him. And I hear his definition of contentment when I was studying English. Then I didn't write down in the book, but it reflects. So his teachings reflect my mind every time. So that is his definition of contentment. So I like it. For that reason, I want to share today. So only 2 criteria. Very easy to remember. Number 1, try your best. In your job, try your best. In your relationship, try your best. When you are studying, try your best. Anything, right? Anything. Even my Dhamma talk, I try my best. Even my teachings in the classes, I try my best, right? Second one is very important. Be contented with the result. I think that is a more clear definition of contentment. So after trying hard, people are not contented with the result. After trying hard in your study, in your relationship, so in your job, anything, right? We try our best, but we are not happy. The reason is we don't have contentment. I think it's for everyone. So actually, happy to listen one of the advice by a Dhamma speaker from Thailand. And as far as I remember, it is a suggestion for the Dhamma speaker. And he said that we are always talking, giving the Dhamma talks. Sometimes it may not work. Sometimes your talk may not be very good. It is not very clear to the audience that you have a bad response from the audience. But accept it. So there are a time that we cannot do, right? Accept it. Accept it. I think very important advice for the Dhamma speaker. Actually, it's especially for us, right? Sometimes we teach the lessons, so we cannot clarify. We cannot make a very clear points for the audience. But after talking, and we have a little bit of depressions here, right? Then in those times, I right away remember his advice. Accept it. So there are some times that we cannot do well. So we have to accept it. That is nothing but contentment. We try our best. Be contented with the result, whether it is good or bad. So you're trying your best in your relationship. Number one, whatever it may be negative and positive, it doesn't matter. Be contented with the result. In your study, in your job, try your best. If you have a negative impact or negative result, it doesn't matter. Accept it. You have diseases in your body, trying to cure, right? Trying to cure your best. Be contented with the result. 1 year ago, one of our devotee has a serious disease, and she went to give birth. So she said that, let it be. And we try to encourage, trying to treat the disease. So whether it is a good and bad result, doesn't matter. Keep it, accept it. Then she decided to cure her diseases. Now, I think the positive effect, almost cure. So we have to try our best. Number two, be contented with the result. That is very important. Everywhere. Trying to make money, try your best, be contented. How much, whatever you have, right? Whatever you have. Try to become someone or something, right? Try your best, be contented with the result. I think that is a very clear definition of contentment. Okay? Then I hope that you understand the definition of contentment right now. That contentment is the higher wealth. How much you have, it doesn't matter. How much money you have, it doesn't matter. If you are content, if you are satisfied with what you have, that is a greater wealth. Of course, if you have more, we can enjoy life. But if you do not have satisfaction in our wealth, you will not be happy. So the result of unhappiness, the reason of unhappiness in your life, because of lack of contentment. I think contentment is very important to have a happiness in our life. I think that is the answer. You may know that Bhutan, right? The Bhutanese people are the happiest people in the world. So if you say like this, as you all know, that Bhutanese people are very, very poor compared to other countries. They are still happy. So the reason is they have a contentment, right? For that reason, they are happy. So actually, I'm not telling that poverty is good. I'm not telling. Of course, if we are very happy, if we are very rich, if we are very wealthy, and if we have a contentment, the best, right? Of course, what you have is largely connected with the satisfaction. For that reason, when you look at the English dictionary, so you will find that contentment, they will define that happiness or satisfaction often because of things that you have. So that is their definition. But according to Buddhism, whether you have more or less, it doesn't matter. If you have a contentment, you are richer person, the rich person. You are a worthy person. Because if you are contented with what you have, then we can call it a contented person. Right? Then I will discuss one by one. Then if you have a question, just raise, right? Just raise. Are you a happy person? Yes, I know that you have a contentment. Quite sure, right? You are contented with your husband, with the house you live, and the time you are spending. I think that is because of contentment. We can clearly see that, right? If you are not satisfied with your status, with your husband or wife, with your family, no happy, right? No happy. So here, I want to ask, are you happy with the place where you are staying now? Are you happy to stay in Singapore? Yeah, you are a contented person. I must say that you are a contented person. I think that satisfaction or contentment regarding with your place will make you happy person. I think that is very important. So we have to be contented the places where we are staying now. If you are not satisfied, if you are not contented, you will feel unhappy. Quite sure, right? I think in your environment, you might see that some people, they leave Singapore. The reason is they are not satisfied with the place where they live. And I mean, some people, not all the people. Some people may leave Singapore. The reason they want to stay other countries because they are not contented with Singapore. But for them, it's good. If they are not happy here, just leave. But some people, they are not happy to stay in Singapore, and a lot of complaints. I think that those people are not contented. The government they have, the economic situation they have, the lifestyle in Singapore, right? So even though we have a very a competitive lifestyle in Singapore, you have to be very satisfied with this. Otherwise, you will feel unhappy. If you like Singapore, you are a contented person. If you like the place, the house you stay, you are a contented person. That is very important concept. So I stayed in my village 3 years. And then after 3 years of my stay in my village, I moved to Mandalay. Mandalay is the second capital city in Myanmar, a very big one. Regarding with the religious studies, so this is a center. So if you got a degree from Mandalay, so you are highly respected. So when I was 12 years old, I moved to Mandalay for religious studies as a novice. I'm very happy. I'm very happy to stay in Mandalay. So I stayed there about 11 years. So Mandalay became my home, just like my home, very familiar, and I love to stay there. And I think that even I may go other places, one day I will come back to Mandalay because I left Mandalay. Then at the age of 22, I got a degree. Then for my future dream, I moved to Yangon. Yangon is at the time the first capital city of Myanmar. And of course, this is the Yangon is the center of education and business and everything. By that time, even the government reside there. So when I arrived Yangon, I moved because of my future dream. I'm not happy for about 3 months. I'm not well accommodated there. So I remember most of the time my life in Mandalay. In Mandalay, I feel like very, relaxed and more freedom. So after 3 months, I became well accommodated in Yangon, and I feel very happy. Then I became a happy person in Yangon. So that me, of course, for 3 months, I'm not happy, but I'm trying to fit in the environment. So in that way, I became a happy person, the place where I stay. Then I stayed there for 4 years. Then I go to Sri Lanka for my master degree. Then when I went to Sri Lanka is totally different with the Myanmar. Regarding food, people, the language, everything. Even not close to Singapore. We have a different, we can call it civilization and different way of thinking. So anyway, we have the same religion, Buddhism. For that reason, I go there for my master degree. Of course, in the first 1 or 2 months, I'm not happy. I stay there because of my education. Then after I stay 2 months, so I became very happy. I'm trying to fit in where I stay, right? Trying to have contentment where I stay. Then I'm very happy. So I stay there for 4 years. So even I think that Sri Lanka will be the best country for me other than Myanmar. So that me, I'm very happy. I have a contentment with the place where I stay. So without contentment, without satisfaction, I will not be happy. So there are many monks, Burmese monks, who are not happy in Sri Lanka for 1 year, 2 years. They want to go back because they don't have a contentment regarding with the food, the people they are dealing with. So they are not happy, so they stay there. They did not try to fit the environment, right? To stay. For that reason, they are not happy. For me, by the time, I think that Sri Lanka will be my second choice, other than Myanmar. Then, after staying 4 months, I was invited to come to Mangala Vihara, to Singapore. But I think Singapore is more familiar with the Burmese culture because so many Burmese are more familiar with the Sri Lanka. So when I arrived Singapore, of course, for about 6 months, so I still remember Sri Lanka. I still remember my friends. So occasionally I talk to them. So I miss my life in Sri Lanka. But for about 3 or 6 months, I forgot about my life in Sri Lanka. I'm very happy to stay in Singapore. So I'm very happy the place where I stay. Satisfied and contented the place where I stay. It is not because Singapore is very rich, a very clean country, but because that's my second nature. I'm trying to fit in the place where I stay. I'm trying to practice contentment. Then I sometimes think that if I go and stay in the forest, I will be a happy person as well. So the reason is that contentment is second nature in my mind. So I will be happy wherever I stay. So here, if you are happy with the place where you stay, with the house where you belong to, you will be a happy person. You have contentment. How about if you are not happy, if you are not satisfied with the place where you live, with the house where you live, what will you do? I have 2 examples. I left 2 places that I'm not happy. One place is in Upper Myanmar. So my teacher asked me to come to go there and teach small Samanera for their exam. So I stayed there for 3 months. My teacher gave me a lot of favors, and he provided everything I need. And he told me he will hire the best English teacher to learn English. I'm not happy to stay there. Even though I have a lot of favors, a lot of guarantees from my teacher, I'm not happy to stay there. Then going against my teacher's wishes, then I moved to Yangon. The reason is I'm not happy to stay there. For that reason, I left the place. During my stay, I tried my very best. I tried my best to teach young Samanera. Then I left the place. That is the best answer, right? The best answer. And there is one of the places in Yangon as well. I'm not happy. Then I left that place without any problem. So here, what I want to say is, if you are not happy with the place, if you are not satisfied with the place, trying to move, right? You can move it. If you cannot move, what will you do? Trying to accommodate yourself, right? Trying to fit in that environment, trying to practice satisfaction. Actually, the places, the houses in Singapore are more glorious than other poor country, right? By thinking like this, then you can practice contentment. I think that is very important. But here, I want to highlight one important factor that some people make unhappy. They have, in Pali, mana. Mana. Mana is a comparison. You're trying to compare with other people without wisdom, without mindfulness. I think that for those who have learned Abhidhamma, you know the word mana. Sometimes, naturally, we're trying to compare with other people and other places. We're trying to compare. If you don't have mindfulness and wisdom, it will lead to depression and unhappiness. That is very important. Mana or egoistic comparison. Normally we can translate as a egoistic comparison. You're trying to compare with the other person. I am lower than that person based on ego. I am higher than that person based on ego. the conceit, arrogance arises in your mind. So both higher and lower comparison based on your ego, not good. It is unwholesome mental states in Buddhist teachings. But you can compare with other person, you can compare with other places based on mindfulness and wisdom. This person is less educated than me. For that reason, I need to understand whatever he said. That is comparison, but based on understanding, based on mindfulness. You can compare, but with the mindfulness and clarity of the mind or understanding. So discontentment arises mostly because of comparison. You compare with the other houses, right? But if you don't have mindfulness and understanding, it will lead to dissatisfaction. It will lead to unhappiness, even depression. Then you can sometimes you compare your father, even your father and mother, right? You can compare your income. You compare with your education level. Normally, if you compare based on ego, your ego, right? I'm higher, they are lower. I am lower, they are higher. If you compare based on your selfish view or egoistic comparison, it will lead to happiness and depression. Even arrogant, if you are higher, arrogant. So I think that, one of the cause of our dissatisfaction or discontentment is based on mana or egoistic comparison, right? Then let's go to the next one. Are you happy with you are staying with your parents, with your sister and brothers, with your spouse? Are you happy? Some may say not happy, some may say happy. Those people who are happy, they have a contentment, right? Those who are not happy might be two reasons, because of, maybe not two reasons, only one reason. Not satisfied with, right? Not satisfied, no contentment. So here, what I want to say is, if you don't like that person, you can leave. Is it easy? Can you leave? No, cannot, right? We have to look at a lot of things, right? A lot of things. 2 months ago, one of the ladies approached me and asked me, is it all right to divorce my husband? And I answer, it is perfectly all right according to Buddhism. There's no restrictions, but you have to consider a lot of things. Your children and your heritage and families and parents, environment. After a lot of considerations, even you divorce, there is no negative things in Buddhism. You have full freedom to choose your partner. The reason is I think that she went to divorce and she feels that it is guilty in her mind. Then I told her, perfectly all right, but in your part, you have to think a lot. There's no guilt, no offense in Buddhism. So if you don't like a person, you can divorce. So I think that is very important. So I'm not encouraging for the divorce, but to let her know, Buddhist perspective, the reason is other religions. So if you get married, not allowed to divorce. If you divorce, if you are a lady, especially a lady, you feel guilty. You have sin, right? You're very sinful. In Buddhism, there's no such a thing. So you get married because of mutual agreement, mutual understanding. If you don't have a mutual agreement, mutual understanding, I think perfectly all right to divorce. So here, what I want to say is not encouraging to divorce. So we have to think a lot about children. Life is not about getting married. It is about many things, right? Many things. So even you stay with a very bad husband and very bad wife, you can still find happiness in other things. The most important thing is, even though your partner, your spouse is not good, then you can stay contentment in your life. Be accepted if you cannot divorce. But if you can, if there are a lot of good conditions, why not? There's no guilt, there's no offense regarding with the divorce, right? Just an example, right? Just an example. How about if you have a very bad children? How will you deal with? But you have to give a good education, a good life for them. But if they are not very good to you, I think no way, right? No way. If they become adept, right? Then they can stay with other family. How about your parents? I think everything. What I mean is not only the parents. The parents, we have a responsibility to take care of them, right? For that reason, some people, they live with their parents. They do not live with their parents, but they still provide everything they need, right? So what I want to say is, of course, you may not like some people, and you may not like the people staying with you. But if you cannot avoid it, you have to accept your situation. You are destined to be there, to stay with them. Try not to make any problem with them. If you are a very good person, try to make friends with them. So trying to find the space to become a good person with them. So I think you can do it, right? You can do it. Finally, if you cannot do anything, why not? There's no way, separation, right? Separation. If the separation is the best answer, why not? Right? So here, if you are happy with who you are staying with, we can say that you have contentment. Actually, sometimes there's no choice. So if you are staying with a very difficult people, you have to put up with them, right? You have to put up with them. There's no choice. So when I was young, as a Buddhist monk, we have to stay together, right? So there are some mature monks and novices. So I think that if this person leave the monasteries, so this monastery will be a very pleasant monastery. So if he leaves the monasteries, very happy. But another medieval monks and novices came in, right? So actually, these are, we call it anatta, right? Anatta, non-self. Even with our body, we want a very healthy body, but sickness came in, diseases came in. Non-self, right? Non-self. So there's no control. We cannot control in certain cases. Just like the people who you are staying with. Sometimes, no choice, but you have to choose, you have to change your attitude. You have to change your attitude. That means you have to be contented with that person. There may be a lot of problematic people, difficult people to deal with. You have to put up with them. Even yourself might be a problematic person, right? Look at yourself. Even you might be a very difficult person to deal with. You have to look at yourself. Comparing yourself, right? Sometimes you may have a better understanding. So if you are happy with the people you are staying with, you have contentment. Most importantly here, this is the last question. Are you happy what you have and who you are? That's obvious and the most important question. Normally, the people who are not happy, they are not contented with what they have. Even though they are very rich, they are not happy. They want more. Because they don't have a contentment. Even though they are beautiful, they are handsome, they are not happy because they are not contented. So there are many people who are afraid of their wrinkle in their face, their gray hair in their head, right? They are the sign of the old age in their body. They are unhappy. And they're trying to cover with the makeup. They dye their hair. So, not satisfied with what they have, right? So that is the cause of unhappiness. For that reason, the Buddha suggested that we have to consider, we have to contemplate ourselves. One day we will grow old. One day we will grow old. One day we will grow old. By contemplating in that way, and we see reality, the real nature of our life, even though there are a lot of gray hairs in your head, a lot of wrinkles in your face, no depression. The reason is you are contented with what you have, with the real nature of things. So even though you have a fatal disease like a cancer, you can find it satisfaction, right? You fully accept it. If you accept it with what you belong to, what you have, then contentment. If you are contentment, you're very happy, right? Very happy. Another thing is who you are. That's very important, right? That's very important. Who you are in your office, who you are in your family, who you are in the Mangala Vihara. Accept it, right? Accept it. If you cannot accept the current situation, number one, try your best, right? You are owner of your own karma. Try your best, have to be content with the result. You try your best in your family, nobody acknowledge that you are a good person. Be contented, right? Try your best in your office, show who you are in your office, but nobody agree that you are a good person. You cannot perform. Be contented with the result. I think that is very important, right? Here, what the Buddha want to point out here is stay in the present moment, right? Stay in the present moment means be contented with the present moment. The present appearance in life, the present status in your life, the present salary, what you have, present possessions in the company or anywhere else. Be contented, right? Be contented with this. Normally, if you are taking holiday trip, trying to enjoy present moment, right? Leave every problem in your office behind. Then only you will enjoy life, right? Otherwise, some people go holiday trip, and many, they bring a lot of problems from the office. So they forgot to enjoy present moment, right? So I think that's very important. The Buddhist definition of contentment, right? You can go back to the past, go to the future, but without any regret or anxiety, with the full of mindfulness and clarity of mind. Most importantly, stay in the present moment, right? Stay in the present moment. That's very important. So, who you are. As you all know that, even recently, one of the very famous actors committed suicide. The reason is, he is not contented with his life, the way he is, right? And there are many rich people who commit suicide. The reason is they lost in their company. Actually, they have a lot of money, and they lost certain amount of money in their business, and they commit suicide. The reason is they are not satisfied. They are not contented with who they are. For that reason, what the Buddha said is very correct, right? Very correct. Contentment is the greatest wealth. The contentment is the greatest wealth. So if you're contented, whether you're poor or rich, it doesn't matter. You will feel happy. You will find happiness in your life. So if you are happy and satisfied with what you have and who you are, whoever you are, whether you are man or woman, or successful person, or a failure person, it doesn't matter. Even though you are with the fatal diseases, trying to accept it, trying to cope with those difficult situations, trying your best, and be contented with the result. Even you have a fatal diseases, you have to try to cure, right? Then trying to accept with the result. Then you will have happiness, right? You will have happiness. Then I want to quote one of the, I don't know whether it is famous or not, I find it very interesting. So it illustrates our mind in general. Friend Grey Baza from Australia, from Europe. He is known for his dramas. He's a writer, and he said this one: as youth lives in the future, normally young people longing for the future, expecting for the future, right? So trying hard their best, educate themselves, trying to get a degree, get married, children, but still expecting the future. They forget present moment. So the adept lives in the past. Normally, old people, they go back to the past very often. When I was young, Singapore is not like this. You have a very enjoyable life here right now, like this, right? So they go back to the past very often. They forget present situation. If you are talking like this, the young people will not like it, because this is their karma, right? So they were born this time. Singapore is one of the best countries, but do not compare their life with your life, right? So we have to understand. We have to understand. Normally, adept people or old people live in the past. So they forgot to live in the present moment. And he said that no one rightly knows how to live in the present moment. If you are an old people, an older person, try not to go back to the past. Right? Stay in the present moment. Be contented who you are. Be contented the money you have, the house you have, and the people you are dealing with. So just stay in the present moment. Right? Do not go to the past. That doesn't mean you cannot think about the past. You can think about the past. But when you are thinking the past and the future with the full of mindfulness and clarity of the mind. If mindfulness and clarity of the mind stay in your mind, there's no place for negative mental state, just like anxiety, right? You can think about the past, you can think about the future, fully mindful, fully aware, right? So that is, I think, a very, I want to say, reflect our life. Normally, people think that I want to become a baby, right? I want to become a children. The reason is, in those times, no worry for business, no worry for the family, no worry for the food, clothing. The parents provide them. We normally go back to the past. I think that is not a correct attitude. So that is an attitude of discontented people. So we don't have such a one. You know, live in the present moment. You may have a lot of problems in your life. Try to accept them. Try your best to solve those problems and be contented with the result, right? So in this way, you are staying in the present moment. Then I think that I have been talking about 1 hour and 20 minutes. Then I want to conclude my talk with the Buddhist definition taught by commentators. The 3 criteria of contentment. Number 1, one should not regret the past. You can think about the past, but when you are thinking about the past, no regret, no remorse, no depression. One should not long for the past. You can think about your future, you can make your future plan, but don't crave for the future. So that creates sometimes, if you have a lot of difficulty ahead, anxiety, worry came in, right? So even you are thinking about your future, full of mindfulness and full of clarity of the mind. Most importantly, one should be satisfied with the present. One should stay in the present moment. If you have a lot of happy moments in the present moment, enjoy them. But if you have a lot of problems in your life right now, trying to accept them, try your best, be contented with the result. So in this way, you can live in the present moment. So if you are fulfilling all the 3 criteria, and you will be a contented person. So if you are a contented person, you will be happy all the time. I guarantee. The Buddha guarantee. Okay, thank you so much. Any question?
Yes, thank you, Bhante, for the very thoughtful talk. And it's our fortune today, all of these people here to listen to this. Now, asking on behalf of people who are on the sick bed, dying, a situation where she no longer can talk, though she can listen. So how to express this contentment to her now?
Oh,
That means she must be contented with her illness now.
okay, very good question for the near-death passing, right? Dying passing. So I think that we have to use a very suitable word, right? So in Myanmar, we have a very famous Sayadaw, very famous monk, who normally talk the people who are going to die. Actually, he listen, he just sit down nearby those persons, and he normally talk to them very slowly, a very tender words. And the main message of his teachings is let go, let go. Don't grab so many things. If you grab so many things, it's hard. So even your life, even your body, don't try to grasp. Let go, let go. But of course, this is a very, very hard. For those who cannot accept, we have to use a very clever usage, right? Usage. And we have to talk depend on their education level. Education here means religious education level. And then for those who are learned in Buddhist teachings, we can use such one. The theory, the teachings of anatta, the teachings of non-self. So there are many things that are out of our control, including diseases, right? Even though some are very, even though they take care of their health, then the disease that came in. So out of control. So as I earlier said that, try your best, be contented with the result. So they try not to, as a dying person, especially for you all who stay alive, one day you might encounter such experiences. Try not to grasp. Normally I share, and there are many people who haven't heard of that story, the story of Bhikkhuni Khema. She is a German Bhikkhuni, and she talked about her near-death experience. So she suffered from cancer, breast cancer diseases for 4 and 5 years. So one time she was in the hospital bed. So she was lying down, and she was a serious meditator. So she noted that she just aware of what is happening in her mind and in her body. The one time she noted that the life energy is moving from her body. She cannot do anything. She just aware that energy is moving from the body, from the foot, from the knee, from the thigh, moving. As a serious meditator, she just aware what is happening. No resistance. But there's no suffer. There's no suffering in her mind. Just energy is leaving. She does not identify that energy as her. She does not identify her body as her body. She's just aware, right? No grasping, just awareness. Then suddenly the doctor came in. The doctor saved her life. So later she said that by that time, no suffering. So she said that the dying moment is a pleasant if we don't have no existence. If we are not grasping anything. If we let go as they are. Just aware what is happening in your body. So I think by that time, if there's no grasping, if there's no craving for it, just fully aware and clarity of the mind and full of mindfulness, then there's no suffering at all. You just look just like you are looking at your body the way they are. That's all. So there's no suffering at all. So she said that the dying moment is pleasant if there's no resistance. So I think we have to look at based on the level of religious education of the person, right? There are many people who learn Buddhist teachings and who understand, but they have courage to face with the death because of, how to say that, letting go, right? Letting go. Okay.
Any other questions? You can send, if you feel shy to ask, you can send a question to this number, and I'll read out your questions.
Bhante, I think contentment may not always be positive. If there is over-contentment, would it not lead to a state of complacency that you just accept status quo and, no desire to move on?
Yeah.
Your comments.
Contentment and complacency, right? Am I correct in English word? Contentment and
contentment may lead to complacency. I mean, if
complacency, right?
Always
complacency.
Contented.
Yeah, very good question. Everyone misinterpret the definition of contentment as a complacency. That's very important as a Buddhist. For that reason, I write down the definition of my teacher, English teacher. Try your best, contented with the result. So he always emphasized complacency is not a contentment. So the Buddha have a lot of energy, a lot of effort to spread his teachings. When the Buddha attained enlightenment, the Mara Divya one came in, and he taught to the Buddha, now you attain enlightenment, you can die. The Mara Divya one taught to the Buddha, and the Buddha said that as long as my disciples do not have an understanding and enlightenment of my teaching, I will not die. So here, for that reason, the Buddha make a lot of effort, a lot of energy to spread his teachings. He spent 45 years to teach people, right? Going from one place to another. He spent, according to commentary, he sleep only 2 hours. So he make a lot of effort. So that means, of course, the Buddha is contented with what he have, but he try his best, but he's contented with what. So what I want to say, emphasize is we normally misinterpret the definition of contentment with the complacency. So here, stay in the present moment. So we try our best in the present moment, right? Even you have a lot of problems in the present moment, solve those problems, right? Do not blame something you have done in the past, right? Try not to have a regret and remorse, something you have done in the past. Just focus in the present moment, stay in the present moment. So then only contentment, right? You are contented even you have a problem, even you have diseases. That's very important. If you don't have a contentment and you will think that, why me, right? Why not others? That is a very important concept, attitude of the contentment. Complacency is not a contentment, right? So we have to try our best but be contented and be accept the result. Question?
Yeah, Bhante, there's one question here.
Okay.
If everyone is contented, will it affect the progress in the society?
Actually, many people ask that question, right? So people think that we are living in the competitive world, right? Without competition, you cannot survive. I think we have to understand contentment. We try our best, right? So when you compare with other people and other nations, especially in the context of Singapore, right? Normally, Singapore is a competitive environment, right? So the company are trying to compete one another. So for that reason, people have a lot of stress, right? A lot of stress in their job. I think it is not a good one, right? It's not a good. It's not a good for Singaporeans. So that doesn't mean they shouldn't compete. But when they are competing, they can compete with other people. As I earlier said that, there is no mana, right? There's no mana. If you compare with the ego, right? If I lost, everything will gone. You think based on ego, right? But you can compete with other people. You can compare with other countries. You can try your best, right? But with mindfulness and understanding. So we have our own face, right? We have our own face. So people said that Mr. Obama retired from his presidency at the age of 50 plus, right? 50 plus. But Mr. Trump became president at the age of 70 plus, right? So we are living with our own face, right? So we have to understand, of course, we can try our best. Don't compare with other countries. Don't compare with other people based on our own ego. If you compare, then discontentment arises. So even though you are very advanced in education and economy, if you don't have a contentment, thing that you have, the state that you have, I think you will not have happiness. So you will have a happiness. If other countries are doing well ahead of them, then depression will come in, right? So here, so we have to understand this complacency and competition, right? You can compete, but when you are competing with other people, you can try your best, but you make ready to accept the result, right? Whether you are performing well or you're not performing well, or whether you lose, whether you win. So you have to accept with the result. So then only you can accept it. You can satisfy with the status and with the possession what you have. So then only you will be very happy, right? Very happy. So for that reason, I think that contentment is the greatest wealth. That's very important. Singapore is very rich, right? Very rich. But if you compare with the richer big countries, other countries, you cannot compare, right? But if you compare poor countries, so you are higher, right? So we have to be contented with the place where we are now, and status and possession, and money you have, the house you have, and the people you are dealing with. So then only you will have a happy person, right? Happy person. So we have a survey in the world. So they normally announce the most happiest country in the world. So most of the countries are from Europe, not even United States, not even Singapore. So the most happiest countries are from the developed from Europe. So the reason is, so their economy is very stable. So their education is very stable. So they have a very full rest from their job. For that reason, their life is very, relaxed, and for that reason, their life is more enjoyable. So they became happier people in the world, right? So here, it is quite natural that, just like in Singapore, just like in Korea, and Japan, and United States, so they are trying, right? They are trying to go at the top. They are struggling. They are competing with other people, right? So less spare time, less rest time. So for that reason, the people in Singaporeans are not happier than the people in the Europe, right? Those countries. And then for those who go there, you can compare very easily, right? Very easily. So their life is very, very relaxed, right? Than the life in Singapore. So actually it's very straightforward comparison, right? So we have to use our understanding, our mindfulness to compare those countries. Of course, compared to the poor countries, the life in Singapore is very pleasant, right? Pleasant. But if we compare with the country in the Europe, I think the life in Singapore very competitive. So I think Singapore is going to that way. So one day, I think in the very near future, and then the life in Singapore will be more relaxed and more free time. The company will have more, more relaxed, right? They are not forcing the worker, right? The workers. And there will be the time Singapore will go there. I think the government is trying to be like this, right? Because Singapore is just on the way to go there. But compared to other countries, many countries, so you are going ahead of many countries, right? Many countries. So you have to enjoy it. You have to satisfy it. You have to content with this. So then only happiness will automatically come in, right?
Another question, Bhante.
Okay.
How should we deal with and help people who are discontented?
Trying to tell them, without contentment, they will not be happy. Trying their best and be contented with the result, right? A very easy suggestions. Okay, any question? The last one?
There's one more question here. But actually, I don't know what she's asking. I just read out. I'm very contented and happy coming to MV Temple for lessons and attend puja. We have very supportive Bhantes and teachers and classmates. I should say I'm half contented when come to personal life. Or I should say my contentment come from here. My question is, I'm contented to have filial children, but not with my spouse. Other than that, I'm very contented, especially coming to MV Temple.
I see. I think compared to other people, you are a happy person. I would say that generally, right? So if you are contented with the Mangala Vihara, you can come. If you are not contented with the Mangala Vihara, you can go to other temple. I'm happy to hear that you are happy and you're contented to come and spend the time here. So I think that Mangala Vihara is a very good place to learn, right? Of course, there are many things you may not know behind the curtain. But it doesn't matter. So your main reason is to come and study, right? To come and study. So there may be some time you might see there are many, the discouraging things to know about Mangala Vihara, right? You might find one day, but if you find them, try your best to sort those reasons, right? Then be contented with the result. So actually, relatively, Mangala Vihara is, I think, one of the best places to learn Buddhist education. We have a lot of classes, and we have a very systematic puja, right? So you can choose variety of religious learning, right? Religious studies. I think are very good. So if you are happy, we are very happy to hear that. So I can say that you are not wrong to come to MB. So in a good place to learn. Regarding with your personal life, happy that you are contented with your result or your children, right? So I think it's good. But regarding with your spouse, with the husband, we have to, as I earlier said that, we have to think a lot of things, right? In our life, sometimes there are something that are out of our control. So things maybe happen negatively. So we have to evaluate based on percentage, right? Percentage. Not everything is not everything, just like right now. So not everything will go smooth, right? We have to look at based on percentage. So we have to look at based on percentage, right? So there are many things that will be happening in our life that we do not like. But we have to look at how many percent, right? How many percent? So things we can change, we can change. Things we cannot change, we have to accept it. Just like a cancer, right? If, suppose, a cancer spread in your body, try your best to cure it, right? If you cannot cure, it is out of control, beyond your control, right? Then accept it. Accept it as it is. If you accept it, no fear at all. Just like Bhikkhuni Khema, right? Then she just aware. She just sorry. I think very important. So she just aware what is happening in her body, right? She just accept it. She let go. Things happening. There's no suffering at all, right? Then if I look at 3 areas, you are happy to come and study in Mangala Vihara. You find happiness here. Very good. And you are satisfied with your children. Very good. But you have only one thing, right? You can compare, I think. As I earlier said that to divorce a husband is not really easy. You have to consider a lot, right? Whether it is good or bad. But if you think that it is a good way to divorce, why not? No gift, no offense, right? No offense in Buddhism. So Buddhism gives you a freedom. We are owner of our own karma. But I'm not encouraging to divorce. I have to emphasize. I have to repeat it again. I'm not encouraging, right? Try to accept it. Even the negative part of our life, we have to accept it. Just like me. Maybe I will conclude my talk with my I will conclude my talk with my appearance, right? Because of my karma, I became like this, right? I became like this. But I can try my very best to plastic surgery to change my appearance. I can try my best, right? That I can change my appearance by undergoing plastic surgery in the Thailand or Korea. That I will be more attractive, right? More appealing. But if I do surgery, then there will be a lot of negative effect in my body, right? But here, my purpose of living in this world is to find happiness, right? To find happiness. As long as I'm happy with my appearance, as long as I'm happy as a Buddhist monk, I think that is meaning of life, right? Meaning of life. I think to find happiness is very important. So contentment is a very crucial factor to get happiness in our life. Thank you so much. Maybe I'll leave it. Thank you so much. Sorry for the last question. Okay, I think.
Sorry, because of the time consumed, we cannot answer all the questions. But I got to make one announcement. On the 12th of November, there'll be another Dhamma talk. Today is supposed to be the last Dhamma talk, but we are very fortunate to invite Ashin Kilasa from Myanmar. The topic of the talk will be Vipassana meditation. So if you are interested in Vipassana meditation, do come for the talk. You can invite your friends, whoever, come for the talk. Same place, same time, 7:30 to 9:30. 12th of November. It's a Monday. Okay, thank you.
Okay, we will share the merit, this good deed. So we have accumulated a lot of good deed by sharing merit, by sharing the Dhamma, and by listening to the Dhamma. May all this good deed, we share all this good deed, we share all these good deeds to all sentient beings who are living far and near. May they be well and happy. May they be free from physical and mental suffering. Idame nyatina hotu sukhita hotu nyatayo. Idame nyatina hotu sukhita hotu nyatayo. Idame nyatina hotu sukhita hotu nyatayo. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Okay, good night everyone.